Hello and welcome to the 3D Printed Classroom. Today I want to talk about this cool file that I found on Thingiverse and put it together. I'm pretty low effort today. I actually lost I didn't lose it. I had to bring my PC into work to use in class. But anyway, so this is called on Thingiverse the 1mm to 5mm thickness swatch, and I'll put it in the description of my video. Thickness swatch is not the best name for it. I think he should have used like a gauge. I think that's a little bit more accurate. Anyway, so I printed a bunch of these for my class, and the reason being is that I am sort of gearing up to get into the 3D printing kind of engineering design challenge. And one thing I noticed that was difficult for many students was like the understanding the thickness of when it comes to millimeters and centimeters, and especially when we're designing things and they're going to be very thin, looking at a looking at a ruler or something that says millimeters and centimeters, it's just not quite tangible enough. It's still too abstract a concept. So this is one that I've already printed out. Let's see if we can get a good, decent thing on it. Is it focused? Anyway, so yeah, this is the first one that I printed out. It prints very nicely. I did this on my Prusa, just with supports, and it kind of prints like this, and then all of the gauges are separate files as well. And they fit in really nicely. The designer of it was great. He had, if you remember back at that picture, it was very petite, and I think he was limited by his printer. If I can see, I don't think he's. Oh, well, that's strange. So it says he's using a Prusa i3 Mark 2.5S. He must have printed it on a smaller thing, or just wanted something very small. But he redesigned it, like I think about twice the size, and I thought that this was much better. Well, especially I think for kids having it like this. So this is the finished product. I stacked them 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 millimeters like that. I ended up finding it on the internet. Where's my... Oh, I got rid of all my paper down here. Now, the cool thing is that you don't actually have to do it in that order. And if you get really clever, you could stack them in a way so that you could show students even thicker, is it back? All right, even thicker amounts than 5 millimeters. So if you wanted 6, like if you put the 1, what's going on? What? So if you put the 1 next to the 5, then you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then if the 4 is next to the 3, you have 7. Wait. Yeah, 4 and 3 is 7. And then 4, 3, and 1 is 8. And I think you can arrange them so that you have 1 to 10 millimeter, excluding 9. I think that was the one that I was having difficulty figuring out. But you can put them in whatever order you want. I think for my students, just the simple kind of 1 through 5 will be just fine. I think that'll be good enough. And I think it's designed to use a M3 20 millimeter screw, which I have some. The only ones I have are like these nylon ones, so it's not going to work super well. Well, I guess it'll work just fine. It'll work good enough. I did have some problems. I always have problems on my printer with when I do the holes for bolts, especially if there's a hex one, with maintaining that perfect circle. I feel like it usually happens on the side with where the supports are, because it just doesn't quite have enough to grip onto. But I mean, even here, well, yeah, that's where the supports are, and you can see that's just sort of a mess. I wish I could come up with a better way to fix it. I'm sure that there are people who've figured out ways to avoid that. I just have like mostly to I'm not going to do the gold ones first. I'm going to do the white ones. I wish I had just a better way of keeping those things clean. I think perhaps if I tuned up my printer a little bit more, then that would do a lot. That would do a lot to alleviate that problem. Oh, that one turned out nice. So one of the reasons why, so I want this because I have the kids who just are unable to really appreciate what 1mm looks like. The program that I'm using in my classroom, and it seems to me to be really the only option out there, is the program Tinkercad. And so with that, it measures everything in millimeters, but I want my kids to be learning millimeters and figuring that whole system out, or just at least gaining a basic understanding of it. I think this is 20 millimeters, but I don't know. It didn't seem quite long enough on this one. I don't know that it actually threaded all the way through. So what I'm going to do, gosh, it looks like it should. Nah. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this longer one. This is like, I think like 25, and just cut off the excess. That's just fine for me. So here we go. I'm hoping to print enough just for every small group to have one. I thought for a moment, and really only a moment, that it might be nice to have one for everybody. And I think that, I mean, it would be nice, that's true. It would be very nice for everybody to have one, but I just don't know that I want to dedicate that amount of printing time to it. Especially like my main printer is the one that I keep at school, and I'm not like, I'm a regular third grade teacher, so I need to teach in my classroom as well, like all the other subjects, and so it would be difficult for me to have that just running nonstop in order to produce enough for everybody. I would definitely not suggest using nylon nuts and screws. I would use steel ones. This is just what I have, and I don't really want to order anything different. I do like sort of the contrast. I like the black. I think it looks cool. So, I mean, that's why I have these. I like to finish projects that need hardware. I like to finish with black hardware. I don't know what it is about it, but I like that. There we go. And so, yeah, this is going to be much better, I think. Oh, jeez. And then, oh, this is going to be overkill, but I'm going to go for it. For some reason, I'm just missing a bunch of stuff at my workbench. I'm missing my paper and my pencils and a lot of hardware and stuff, and my small saw. Golly. Is this cutting through it? Can I just use this? Will this do it? Oh my gosh, what a dope. Why would I do... Anyway, so of course, just this knife is more than enough, more than capable. So as you can see, yeah, it just goes together super easily. It's like a really nice looking design. I like the 1 to 5 millimeter label on it. And you know, this guy who made it, what was his name? Roykin7. Good job to you, man. I love this, and I think my kids are really going to get a lot of use out of this. So with that, if you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe or share it out to other folks that you think could use it. And yeah, toodaloo.